Hi everyone, welcome to Scube TV. I am your host Rajni, and today I have with me a very special guest on the show. His name is Steve Piskor. He is the founder of Elderly Nursing Home Abuse Advocates. And today on the show, we are going to speak with him about his organization, about the mission of his organization, and all and more. But before, let's welcome him to Scube TV. Hi Steve, welcome to Scube TV. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on the show. So, Steve, I actually would like to know from you if you can please, talk about the journey of yours of founding this organization. So, how did you actually found this organization, and how did this journey happen? If you can please talk about it.
Now, I started the organization in 2011 because my mother was brutally abused in a nursing home in 2011. Um, I placed a hidden camera in her nursing home room and caught 8 aides abusing her. Um, at the time when I had the videos, I had a lot of problems with trying to get somebody to even look at the videos. The police wouldn't look at the videos for what reason I don't know. The nursing home said they were going to handle it, but they never turned it over to the authorities. So what I had to do is I had to go to the media and give the videos to the media. And once the videos started airing on TV, media all over the world was picking the story up. And by then, the
Mm-hmm.
police had to get involved into it. And there were several investigations going on all at the same time. Out of it, it just blew up into something that I didn't know that was going to happen that big. Um, Never thought anything like that was going to happen, and we never thought that I was going to catch somebody actually abusing my mother. I thought there would be more of neglect, not not seeing them doing their job properly. Because I would walk in and catch her and see her sitting in urine and feces and cold rooms and not fed and but when I began to see changes in her moods and bruises, that's when uh, my concern was getting more, uh, and that's when I actually put in a old school camera first, so the camera that old
Mm-hmm.
school where video cameras where both parties had to have a camera to see each other, and it went to regular landlines. So the nurse home actually let me put that in, but the aides were complaining that it violated their rights to privacy, and we argued back and forth about that. And the nurse home finally told them to cover the camera up, which that uh, just wasn't the right thing to do. So
Yeah.
when that camera was in there, I put the hidden camera in. So they were covering up the camera that they knew was in there, but they didn't know the hidden camera was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it ran for about 6 weeks, and I didn't know how to run and work the camera, so it caught thousands of videos, and uh, the abuse was just shocking for everybody. Um,
Mm-hmm. But Steve, here's my question. I'm really shocked to hear about this, and because nursing homes are a place where people should actually feel safe, and there abuses are going on. So I'm really sorry for interrupting you in between, but I actually would like to know, why do you think this abuse was happening to your mother?
no, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of people uh, that are just not watching in nursing homes. The Department of Health only goes into a nursing home once every 12 to 14 months, and when they go in, they don't look for abuse. They look for health violations. They're not looking for abuse. Um, Nursing homes have ombudsmen, which are they're more like a go-between in between the resident and the nursing home, and they do the same thing. They don't go in looking for abuse. Actually, nobody does. So uh, aides are the nursing homes are grossly understaffed. The aides are overworked, but so there's no excuse for abuse,
Yeah.
regardless of working conditions or staffing conditions. You do your job, you do your best as you can, and that's all people ask for. But it doesn't happen in all nursing homes, not to that degree. Uh,
Hmm.
I
I mean,
always tell everybody that.
I'm really sorry, but I actually would like to know from you, what do you mean by saying not to that degree? Do you think that other nursing homes also have abuses?
Yeah, like I was going to say, all nursing homes are not bad. All the employees are not bad, but there are bad employees in all nursing homes.
Okay.
There is neglect in nursing homes. It is a huge problem. Um, Abuse has always been a problem for nursing homes ever since the start. Nursing homes started. There's been
Hmm.
abuse, and I say if the problem is that um, there is nobody that can go in and investigate a case in a nursing home to actually look for abuse. Uh,
Hmm.
the local police are not allowed in there just to walk
Yeah.
in. They're not good. They have to go to the Department of Health, and the Department of Health doesn't look for abuse. When they investigate abuse, when they go into
Hmm.
invest, they say if they don't see the abuse, then there's nothing they can do about it. So, with in my situation, I caught the abuse on hidden camera, so I
Yeah.
had abuse. So there was no way that they could not say the abuse happened.
Hmm.
Other cases where there isn't, where people are complaining about abuse, that's where the problem is. There's nobody um, in there that does a proper investigation of the abuse,
Yeah.
and it's a big problem. That's why
Hmm.
I've got legislation for cameras in nursing homes and all long-term
Okay.
care, and that is going to be a big help in putting a deader in the abuse for residents, because family will be able to check on their loved ones anytime, 24/7.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
mean,
But but I actually would like to know that, does government hold any authority in it, in nursing homes?
pardon me?
Does government hold any authority in nursing homes? Can they do something about this? I mean, because cameras are not allowed because it's invading their privacy. But such kind of abuses are happening. We have to do something about it. So, does government hold any authority in it?
The government does, yes. Of course, they have the authority to do it, but the problem is the healthcare association is the ones that they are basically for the aides and nurses in nursing homes. So they do everything they can to protect the rights of aides and nurses, and they feel that doing anything else that would put aides and nurses in situations
Mm-hmm.
where not maybe expose them, but put them more in a situation where they feel their privacy would be uh, um, violated out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true because putting a camera in a nursing home, there's only one person that's going to view the video, and that's the person that has the authority to put the camera in. And you're
Yeah.
not allowed to put the video on social media or do anything with the video. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
allowed to. Only the person that has the authority to see the video. So
Mm-hmm.
the rights are well protected in it. And my legislation that I have in Ohio, right now the legislation is doing good. The healthcare is going to oppose the legislation, but the senator and the Ohio representative are both uh, um, not too concerned about the opposition coming from the healthcare association, because right now it's time that we do something to stop the abuse, especially since in the past year nobody's been in nursing homes. I mean, there's been so many problems in nursing homes that we don't know about, and we're just finding out about because
Yeah.
people are starting to get back in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's turning into a nightmare situation
Mm-hmm.
for many families. I get calls from so many people that They're so worried about their loved ones that are they're trying to change laws, but getting any laws changed has been very difficult. There's a lot of opposition, and that's what they cry. They cry privacy rights, and privacy rights are not an issue because many people would give up their privacy rights for their loved ones not to be abused or neglected.
Yeah. Mhm. But okay, so now I actually would like to talk about your organization that you have started. So I would like to know from you that if someone asked to put cameras on your organization, would you be open to do it?
Um, right now, the only thing I can tell people is how to put a camera in. A lot of people ask me how to put a hidden camera in, and I tell people that it varies in the United States. It varies state by state because some states have eavesdropping laws where you're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to record audio, and some states do have laws that you're not allowed to put a hidden camera in either. So I tell people to check
Yeah.
their states first because you could be getting more into trouble than doing good out of it. And I tell people if you're allowed to put a camera in, just to put one in. Don't worry about anything else. After my videos came out, no one contested the videos. The nursing home didn't contest it. The Healthcare Association, the Ohio Attorney General, nobody contested the videos on any kind of privacy because
Mm-hmm.
the use was all on video. There was nothing that they can do.
Yeah. Mhm. So I mean, because you actually said that you have asked for, putting cameras in nursing homes. You have actually asked for that, but it is such a big step, and because if such abuses are going on in such places where people consider it to be safe, so if such horrible things are going at such places, I mean, I think we should do something about it, and we should be allowed to put cameras, if not the hidden cameras, at least you know the other kind of cameras we should. But having said that, I also would like to know that, but then again, it would be called as a breach of privacy. So, how would you like to convince them?
I mean, the privacy laws are only being contested by the Healthcare Association, I say, which they represent nurses and aides. So, what I told legislatures is that the Healthcare Association does not make the law; they follow the law.
Yeah.
Legislatures make the law. So, I told legislatures in Ohio, there's an average of 15,000 complaints a year of abuse and neglect. So I told Ohio legislatures for every year that you don't do anything to help put an end to nursing home abuse, 15,000 more people are going to be abused. And it's so right now, at least we got the attention of legislatures, not only just in Ohio, but we got them on a national level. And it's because of the shutdown. A lot of people are complaining that they haven't been able to see their loved ones in the past year. And I mean, having a camera in that room would have been a huge help. They would have been
Yeah.
able to see their loved ones.
Exactly. Hmm.
And it's the law is already in about 10 states in the United States, and the law is working. The camera law is working. The
Hmm.
abuse people that use the camera, abuse and neglect is way down in facilities where cameras are being used.
Hmm.
So I'm something that is working,
Hmm.
and the legislation for staffing nursing homes are just very understaffed,
Hmm.
and that's a big issue. That's something that will help a lot in
Yeah.
stopping abuse, getting more people in there to help.
Most definitely, most definitely. And now, Steve, I actually would like to talk about your organization. I actually would like to know from you that what is the mission of your organization with all these things, all these abuses happening in the nursing homes? What does your organization stands for, and what is your mission with your organization?
What I've been doing is I've been with my organization. I started in 2011. It's 10 years old now. was
Mm-hmm.
to bring awareness to nursing home abuse and neglect and what actually happens in nursing homes, to let people know uh, what they can do, how to report nursing
Yeah.
home abuse, what to look for in abuse, look for your changes in your loved ones, uh, just be more vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
We tell people um, not to go in as mad as you get. I mean, because it happened to me. I went in and I
Yeah.
went on nursing homes, and that's the stuff that we do want to stop because it makes it worse if you go in and screaming and hollering. I mean, trust me, I know I've done it quite a few times on it, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work in helping. So go in and we tell people not to do that. Tell people to go through the proper channels of reporting it to ombudsmen, to Department of Health, get more involved, get your family more involved, going more times to see, go at different times during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and on the legislation part, where I got lucky and got somebody to submit. I actually got somebody from the Senate and from the House to submit legislation. So I have legislation in both the House and the Senate at the same time for cameras in nursing homes. And it's doing good right now. We're very optimistic that we're going to get it passed this time. Last year, the legislation failed because it just ran out of time. The new General Assembly started this year, so they had to reintroduce it. So now we have 2 years to get this legislation passed, and we're doing good in the Senate. We're having our first hearing
Mm-hmm.
actually tomorrow in the House. So so actually it's moving. It takes time for it to move, but actually it's moving, and
Yeah.
to keep it moving. Once the legislation stops moving, then that's where you're in trouble. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of legislatures that are for nursing home reform right now, and that
Mm-hmm.
because of the past year of what happened. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's uh, horror stories that are coming out now of
Yeah.
people just finding out of what's happening and finding out of how their loved ones passed away, and it's just it's gets to the point where it's frightening. That's people are scared to put somebody in a nursing home, and it shouldn't have to be that way. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we have to have them, so we have to make
Yeah.
them.
Definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. Absolutely true. And with this, I also would like to know about your team size. I mean, how many people are there in your organization? And also, please, if you can let us know about the volunteers too.
I work with a lot of people right now in my elderly abuse nursing home page. I've got over 7,500 members on it. And I've got two other pages too that I use as backups for that page. And there's about five to 600 on each of them pages. And the media has been following me for the past 10 years since it first happened. I just had a
Wow.
couple of stories done within the past few weeks on the new
Mhm.
legislation. So I get a lot of other organizations that follow me too, and I follow them. We try working together. Sometimes they're working on something that I'm not involved in, but we still try and support each other because uh, in numbers you're much stronger. Uh,
Mhm.
and the problems of nursing home abuse is that people are afraid to report it because they're afraid of retaliation.
Yeah.
So I tell people not to be afraid. If you have to take your loved one out of that nursing home and put them in another one, you're not going to do any worse than where they're at now.
Exactly. Mhm.
So there's a lot of movements going on now. There's been a lot of new advocates because of the shutdown, but um, they're more trying to get back into nursing homes where,
Mhm.
because of the vaccinations, nursing homes are opening back up slowly, but they're opening back up. And eventually, I mean, we'll get back in where nobody knows if it's ever going to be the same for anything anymore, but uh, eventually we'll get back in nursing homes, and people just have to be vigilant. You have to go in nursing homes and check the homes. Uh, we feel bad for ones that don't have family or family that don't go. But that's why there's ombudsmen and that's why there's social workers in nursing homes, because they look after the ones that have no family and where family don't visit them.
Mhm. But Steve, I would also like to know from you that since the day you have started, since 2011, and now it's 2021, like you mentioned that it has been 10 years to your organization. So, what have you seen any major changes happening in the society, in nursing homes, or I mean, or how is the situation?
Yeah, I mean the awareness is much more. It's much bigger. More people are getting involved, but unfortunately, people are getting involved because they feel that their loved ones are going through some form of neglect or abuse, and maybe it's because of all the awareness that's happening. People are looking more, and sometimes it might not be what they think it is.
Hmm.
Because I mean it happens, and it happens to a big degree. Uh,
Yeah.
because on my page I have hundreds and hundreds of stories of neglect and abuse, from from every aspect of neglect and abuse, from brutal beatings to rapes to murders, and it happens. So things are changing where, to the point that even nursing homes are trying to stop what's happening. Uh,
Yeah.
so I mean, they're looking at it, uh, at ways to do it too. Some people are looking at legislation on staffing. Um,
Hmm.
Staffing legislation is can be a costly legislation for nursing homes, being that
Hmm.
if you put people in, it costs more money. And that is the problem with the staffing problem in nursing homes, is it's a becomes a financial problem. And when you talk about um, costing more money, like
Hmm.
Canvas is not going to cost anybody any money. I mean, it's a very minimal cost, but staffing levels in nursing homes is a major cost, and legislatures, federal legislatures, are looking at giving more money putting more money into Medicaid and Medicare, which would give more money to hire staffing, more staffing. So, I mean, those changes that are happening, it's happening, it's coming, it's slowly happening. But like I said, we don't know what's going to happen um, as far as now, because of everybody jumping in on what happened in the past year with the shutdown. Um,
Yeah, exactly. I actually was, actually coming to the lockdown point. And I actually wanted to know from you. I actually was thinking of asking this question to you, from you, that, during this pandemic that happened, and also it's still going on right now, and the lockdown happened, last year in 2020, and now it's still going on in 2021. So, what do you think about those abuses and all that happened, used to happen in which also happens right now, even now, in the nursing homes. I mean, would it had been, I mean, if the lockdown wouldn't be there, do you think there would be much more awareness, or people would have come out, and spoken about it much more if there wouldn't be this lockdown? Or, I mean, what do you think? Has there been more cases in the lockdown?
Yeah, during lockdown, there has been a lot more cases. We're just finding out a lot more. I had somebody call me and tell me that the only way they were allowed to see their loved one was to look through a window. And at one time, they went to look through the window, they saw their loved one on the floor. So they had to run around the building to try and get somebody's attention. And after they got somebody's attention, they went back to and they watched them pick the loved one up and put them in. But the problem was is that they were stopped from now doing window visits because they saw something happen. So nursing homes began doing that too. They were saying that it was a concern about just being on a property, people being looking through windows on a property and maybe seeing other residents in a room. So they actually were stopping window visits too out of it, unless they brought them to the window and they had an aide with them, or or the outside visits was only done obviously during the summertime. So a lot of people are finding out that their loved ones lost a lot of weight. They are they're not responding the way they used to be. They're withdrawn, and all of that kinds of neglect and abuse. Uh, nobody should lose weight in a nursing home. I mean, that's one of your first concerns is if your loved one lose weight because it tells you that they're not eating, then they're not being fit. So I mean, that's a major concern, and this is what people are finding out now about getting back in. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people called me and said, "No, my mother looks totally different. She lost a lot of weight, and she's not responding the right way. Uh, more depressed." And I say that is all signs of abuse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I don't think anybody should go through something like this, because nursing home is considered to be such a safe place, and people actually go there for their health and for their safety. And if something like this happens in a nursing home, what can we what else can we, I mean, what else? I mean, I'm really not getting words to express. I mean, what bad can we expect? And now coming to my question and next question to you, Steve, if you can please, mention your details and how can people contact you. If you can please talk about that to the audiences, and you can please let them know if someone is going through these problems or these situations, how can they contact you?
Um, I'm pretty easy to find on the internet. Actually, one of the national media was looking for a nursing home abuse expert, and she told me, she says, your name popped up. So I sent her a whole bunch of stuff, and they're they're doing a big story on nursing home abuse. I still don't know all the details of it yet. It's still in the works out of it, but that's the way she found me, was just Googling nursing home abuse, and my name popped up on it. Um, well, like I said, I'm very easy to find on Facebook, on the internet, under nursing home abuse. My mother's videos, I've done maybe in the past 10 years. I don't know how many stories, 50 or 100 stories at least, and that went into other medias that picked up the stories. So there's actually thousands of them out there.
Mm,
So if you look on the nursing home abuse, my mother's abuse is going to be on there somewhere out of it. And the CBS Evening News did a story on, they call it the hitting, uh, I forgot what they call it, but they did a whole hour-long story on nursing home abuse, and my mother's story was part of it, of their story.
mm-hmm.
So, so my page is pretty easy to find. I mean, there's a lot of people that recommend me. I get a lot of recommendations from media, sending, but that's all I can do is I can only give them my experience. I can't give them any kind of legal advice or medical advice because obviously it's law to do that. So,
Steve, we are actually short on time, but one last question to you. Before I let you go, I actually would like you to please tell any last message for the people who are going through such situations and are not able to speak up, because when abuse happens to someone, they don't know what to do, and they don't know whom to share with and what to do and who to go to. So and in some places, in some countries, it is also considered such a taboo to to speak something about something like this. So what would you like to tell all those people? Any last message?
yeah, I would tell everybody if you feel something's wrong, usually there probably is something wrong. Don't let it not don't do any not do anything about it because it's only going to get worse. I mean, if I would have let my mother's abuse go, they would have killed her. So don't let stuff like that happen. Report it to the nursing home. Don't be afraid to report it to the nursing home. By law, they're not allowed to retaliate against you for reporting abuse or neglect. Report it to the nursing home. There is an ombudsman that you can report it to. You can report it to the state's Department of Health. And of course, you can always report it to local authorities if it gets to a point where you feel it's really bad, but do something about it. Don't let it continue to happen. If you have to get to a point, another nursing home might be just as bad as the one you're in. It could even be worse, but at least you'll be getting them out of that situation that they're in. So you must speak up. If you don't speak up, it's only going to get worse. Get someone to help you. Get somebody. There's organizations. There's nonprofit organizations. There's a lot of help out there. So ask for it, and people will help.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's high time that we do something about such problems, of society, because I don't, and like I said before, I don't think anybody should go through something like that. So thank you so much, Steve, for coming to SCube TV and speaking with us. We would again like to, have you on the show and would like to do an episode 2 with you very, very soon, and where we can let our audiences know more about, nursing home abuses, and we can share more awareness towards such topics in the society. So we would really love to have you for a second episode. And thank you so much for coming today to SCube TV and sharing such awareness on such an important topic through our channel to the audiences. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it from SCube TV. Keep on watching.